Okay, my dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Very good morning. Hope that all of you are doing well in the early morning, the morning of the winter. So just only 12 students join with us, and rest of the student uh, they are thinking about that BGS class korbo ki korbo na ghumabo. Okay, those students are present. Most welcome from my side, and thanks to all for your uh, maintaining the schedule in time, because this is the characteristics of a good student, that when the class will be start, before that I have to take prepare myself to attend my class with full attention. So that's why I thanks to you, all of you who are joined with me in time. Now I'm starting my class today. Hope that the last three classes what we take, one is from language movement, second one is from united front, and third one is from the 6 point demand. So if you have any query or any doubt, you can ask me questions, then I will start my today's lesson. If you have any query or question, you can ask me. If you have any query or any questions, you can ask me. Just I am giving you a clue that 6 point demand. 6 point demand in your book, it is given the 6 point অনেক বড় বড় করে দেয়া আছে পয়েন্ট গুলো. If you want to take the help from class 9 BGS book, class 9 BGS book, there will get only 6 lines. Only 6 lines. মানে জাস্ট পয়েন্ট গুলার জিস্ট যেটা আছে, দিস ইজ ওইটা তুলে দিয়েছে. সো যাদের পক্ষে 6 পয়েন্ট এখান থেকে মুখস্থ করতে কষ্ট হয়, you can take the help from class standard class 9 book. Okay, there from in chapter 1 the 6 point demand is given, and that 6 point demand অনেক ছোট ছোট করে এক লাইন করে দেয়া আছে, ওইটা থেকেও যদি লিখো then it will be also correct. Okay, this is from my side. And another, the 6 point demand, why it is called the Charter of Our Freedom, because here all of the rights of the East Pakistani what was deprived by West Pakistan, it is totally mentioned, and that's why it is called the Charter of the Freedom of Independence for East Pakistan. And that 6 point demand made Bangabandhu as a legendary political leader. Now let's start for today's discussion. Today in previous class we told that there are 3 lessons we will try to finish, so that's why all of you have to give your full attention to my classes. Today we will start from lesson 4, page number 9. Probably page number 9, the history case of Agartala, and the name of the case is State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and others. State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and others. This is called the history case of Agartala, and this is the Agartala conspiracy case, true or false. This is the historical event. And another, this is the duck ticket. It is the duck ticket, Agartala Shorojantra Mamla, what was held in 3rd January 1968. And after independence, government inaugurated the duck ticket of regarding to memorize the history of the Agartala conspiracy case. So Agartala conspiracy case was a sedition case in Pakistan during the IOPRIM against Awami League, brought by the government of Pakistan in 1968 against Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the then leader of Awami League and East Pakistan, and 34 other persons. That means including Bangabandhu, this is 35 persons. Including Bangabandhu, this is the total number of persons against Agartala case. This is 35 members accused of. But Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the chief accused. But we have to think why the Ayub Khan government lost the case of historic Agartala case. And in last class we discussed about that when Bangabandhu proposed his 6 points in the opposition parties conference what was held in Lahore, then huge popularity went to the support of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, because there he told about the rights of the eastern side. So that's why eastern side people welcomed the 6 point demand, and the popularity of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman increased a lot during that. So to stop the voice of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, I repeat it, to stop the voice of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and stop the rights of the eastern people, okay, the Ayub Khan tried to made a conspiracy to create a movement so that মানুষের attention যেন 6 point থেকে যেন চলে যায়. That's why in 1968 January they filed a case that's name is called history case of Agartala. They given the excuse that Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman made the conspiracy against the unity of Pakistan. So that's why the name of the case was given State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And he was arrested. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was arrested, and this is the photo. Okay, the arrested ওই যে আর্মি অফিসার বঙ্গবন্ধুকে নিয়ে যাচ্ছে. ওকে, সো পুলিশ নিয়ে যাচ্ছে. দেন এই বঙ্গবন্ধুকে যখন এই মামলায় যখন গ্রেফতার করা হয়, অন্য মামলা থেকে এই মামলাটা ডিফারেন্স হচ্ছে অন্য মামলাগুলো জেনারেল কোর্টে তোমার পরিচালিত হয়, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে খুব সহজেই কিন্তু বাইরের মানুষ জানতে পারে যে মামলার বিষয়টা কি হচ্ছে না হচ্ছে. বাট এই মামলার কেসটা এটা ক্যান্টনমেন্টে নিয়ে যাওয়া হয়েছে স্পেশাল ট্রাইব্যুনাল, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে ইট ইজ নট অ্যালাউড ফর দ্য মাস পিপল টু এন্ট্রেন্স দ্য ক্যান্টনমেন্ট. যেমন বিজিবির ভিতরে কি সবাই চাইলে ঢুকতে পারবে না, কিন্তু ঠিক তদ্রুপভাবে ক্যান্টনমেন্টেও চাইলে সবাই ঢুকতে পারে না, যার ফলশ্রুতিতে মামলা নিয়ে কি হচ্ছে মানুষ কোনো কিছুই জানতে পারছে না. তার চেয়ে বড় বিষয় হচ্ছে বঙ্গবন্ধুকে ওই সময় এমন একটা জেলখানার মধ্যে রাখা হয়েছিল যে আনবিলিভেবল, তোমরা এটা বিশ্বাস করবে না. ক্যান্টনমেন্টের ভিতরেই বঙ্গবন্ধুর একটা প্রবলেম ছিল, দিস ইজ দ্য পাইলস রোগের একটা সমস্যা আর কি. পাইলস মানে হচ্ছে বাথরুম করতে অনেক কষ্ট হওয়া, যেটা তো ওই সময়টাতে বঙ্গবন্ধুকে আবার খেতে দিচ্ছে হচ্ছে আর্মিরা সোলজাররা যে রুটি খায় ওই রুটিগুলা খেলে তখন কিন্তু পাইলসের সমস্যাটা কিন্তু আরো অনেক বেড়ে যায়. তো যার ফলশ্রুতিতে বলা যায় যে অনেকখানি না খেয়ে ওই সমস্যা থেকে বাঁচার জন্য বঙ্গবন্ধু অর্ধাহারে জেলখানায় কাটিয়েছেন সময়টা. সো এই কেসটার আলটিমেট রেজাল্ট কি ছিল? when the Pakistan atrocities filed the case of Agartala, then all of the mass people of the East Pakistan, they raised their voice against the Ayub Khan despotic regime. Okay, they told that why you arrested Bangabandhu? We don't believe that Bangabandhu made any conspiracy against the unity of Pakistan. So what is given in your book? Look here. In 1968, the Ayub Khan and Munayam. Okay, Munayam Khan, he was the chief minister of East Pakistan, brought about an allegation of subversive activities against some civil and military personnel of East Pakistan. It was actually aimed at stopping the 6-point movement. The Pakistan government filed a case named Agartala conspiracy case. The case was filed against mentioned 35 people, including Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as chief accused. The case stated that the accused had been attempting to create an independent state in East Pakistan with Indian support. যে তারা কেসটা এক্সকিউজ দিয়েছিল বিকজ দিস নেম ইজ গিভেন আগরতলা. Their excuse that with the support of India, Bangabandhu made a conspiracy to make an independent country. So that's why the term is that yes, this is the case of the Agartala. এবং হ্যাঁ, এটা সত্য যে বঙ্গবন্ধুর এই ধরনের একটা প্ল্যানিং ছিল যে in a sudden day, okay, or night, the eastern people, okay, the commando style, they will attack the cantonment and they will arrest the West Pakistani soldiers and then declare the independence. But before implementing this planning, okay, it was leaked out. So that's why Ayub Khan government made the case of Agartala. The ultimate goal of the government was to prove all 35 along with Bangabandhu as enemies of Pakistan and award them capital punishment. Because this is the name of the case is State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. If you made any conspiracy of country, the capital punishment is the death sentences. তাদের ইচ্ছা ছিল যে ওই ধরনের. Thus they wanted to silence political agitations altogether. However, the military-led government finally had to retreat in the face of massive protest from students and general people. They were compelled to withdraw the case and free all prisoners. এটা কিভাবে করছে আমরা এটা একটু পরে আলোচনা করব, how they withdraw the case. But here another thing given in 1968 another historical event was held. This is the 11-point movement. 11-point movement, and this 11-point movement is proposed by the students of Dhaka University. Took the streets with 11 points alongside with 6 points. 6 point is the rights for the people of East Pakistan, and 11 points is the right for the students community. That means how the West Pakistan government made disparity in the education sector, okay, towards the East Pakistan, okay, in 11-point movement, okay, the student community, they find out it, and then they told that yes, this 11-point movement you have to obey, you have to be established, and without this we will not support the West Pakistan government. All of the educational institution, it will be closed, and the strike and different types of processions, it will be continuing. যখন দেখো আমাদের গত বছরের বা আগের বছরই তো আমাদের যে স্টুডেন্টরা যে রাস্তায় নেমে এসেছিল, উই ওয়ান্ট জাস্টিস দ্য মুভমেন্ট। ওকে, সো স্টুডেন্টরা যখন রাস্তায় চলে আসে স্কুল কলেজ বন্ধ করে, তখন দেখা যাচ্ছে যে কার্যত পুরো দেশে কিন্তু অচল হয়ে যায়, যেটা তখনও হয়েছিল। So that's why 11-point movement, they started the mass demonstration. What was the important point of 11-point? Look here. The 11-point demands included introduction of direct adult poll and parliamentary democracy. They told that yes, তোমরা যদি একটা সরাসরি জনগণের ভোটে নির্বাচিত একটা গভর্নমেন্টকে যদি নিয়ে আসো, then it will be very easy to establish the parliamentary democracy in Pakistan, and there will be no discrimination, because which government is liable for public support. Okay, definitely they will not do any despotic ruling in education sector also. That's why their demand is that to establish the free and fair election and is a democratic government, so that the students are not deprived in any sector. Then their complete autonomy for East Pakistan, nationalizations of banks, insurance and heavy industries, lessening of tax and revenue for farmers, freeing of all political prisoners and withdrawal of their other cases. And এটার পাশাপাশি এইগুলা তো ছিলই, এগুলার পাশাপাশি তাদের another importance they have given that yes, education as like in West Pakistan, the primary education is free of cost. So in East Pakistan said you have to do also the full autonomy of the University of Rajshahi and University of Dhaka, because during the time of Pakistan all of the university has the full autonomy, but in East Pakistan side, Pakistan authority control the university education. So introducing the education in the medium of mother language, okay, my medium of own languages. So that approach the tuition fee of the student of university, এটাকে কমাতে হবে কম্পেয়ার দেন দা ওয়েস্ট পাকিস্তান যেরকম আছে এরকম রাখতে হবে, অথবা আমাদের এখানে এটা কমিয়ে দিতে মার্জিনাল, মানে এখানে অনেক বেশি ছিল ওয়েস্ট পাকিস্তানের চেয়ে। সো দ্যাট টাইপ অফ পয়েন্ট দে ফাইন্ড আউট, এন্ড দেন দে ফাইনালি সাপোর্ট দ্যাট ইয়েস উই আর অলসো ইন সাপোর্ট অফ ফেভার অফ 6-point ডিমান্ড, এবং 6-point ডিমান্ডে যা বলা হয়েছে এগুলোর সাথে আমরাও একমত। So when the mass movement of 11-point movement and 6-point movement jointly start against, then the mass uprising of 1969 it was held. The next lesson, the mass uprising of 1969. Here, this is the historic photo of 1969. When the mass uprising is going on, the street boy, he come forward and he told that Ayub Khaner poton chai, ek dofa ek dabi, Ayub Khan tui kobe jabi. That type of slogan they created, because 11 points movement from the student community, 6-point movement from the East Pakistan peoples. So that's why the procession was going on, and that procession, Ayub Khan government police, they fired, and the Dhaka University student Asaduzzaman Asad, he was spot dead, and all of you know the name of the Asad Gate. Asena Mohammedpur Dhanmondi region তে Asad Gate একটা জায়গার নাম আছে। So we Asad Gate in the name of the martyrs of Shahid Asad, who was killed in 20 January 1969. That means তোমাদের সাথে যে 20 তারিখে ক্লাস নিচ্ছিলাম, ওই দিনটাতে আসাদুজ্জামান আসাদ মারা গেল। আজকে হচ্ছে কত তারিখ? আজকে হচ্ছে আমাদের 26 তারিখ। ওকে, ওই দিন আসাদুজ্জামান আসাদ মারা যায়। And hearing the voice of the killing of Asaduzzaman Asad, a brilliant student of Dhaka University, all of the university, college and educational institution, they raised the voice in favor of 11 points and 6-point movement, and they give the slogan to unconditional release of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and the prisoners of Agartala conspiracy case, and the student community who was present to make the movement against the Ayub Khan government. And in February, that means in 17th February 1969, a university professor, Dr. Shamsud Juha, he is a university professor of Rajshahi University and proctor of that university. He made an voice against in university teachers meeting. He told that আজ আমি আজ আমি ছাত্রদের রক্তে রঞ্জিত, এরপর কোনো গুলি হলে তা ছাত্রকে না লেগে যেন আমার গায়ে লাগে। অর্থাৎ উনি প্রক্টর, his main duty was to make the security, ensure the security of university student. সো রাজশাহী ইউনিভার্সিটিতেও এই ধরনের আন্দোলনগুলোতে পুলিশ গুলি চালিয়েছিল, অনেক স্টুডেন্ট আহত হয়েছিল। তো যেদিন মৃত্যুবরণ করেন 18 ফেব্রুয়ারি, তার আগের দিন উনি শিক্ষকদের একটা মিটিং এ বলেছিলেন আমার ইউনিভার্সিটি ছাত্ররাও আজকে পুলিশের গুলিতে রক্তে রঞ্জিত। সো এরপরে যদি একটা গুলি যদি চলে তাহলে আমার ছাত্রদের গায়ে গুলি লাগার আগে আমার গায়ে গুলি লাগতে হবে। এবং দেন 18 ফেব্রুয়ারি স্টুডেন্টরা যথারীতি মুভমেন্ট করতেছে আইয়ুব খানের ইয়েস এক দফা এক দাবি, আইয়ুব খান তুই কবে যাবি, মুক্তি চাই মুক্তি চাই, শেখ মুজিবের মুক্তি চাই মুক্তি চাই মুক্তি চাই, আগরতলা ষড়যন্ত্র মামলার আসামিদের মুক্তি চাই মুক্তি চাই মুক্তি চাই, ছাত্র নেতাদের মুক্তি চাই, এই ধরনের স্লোগান যখন চলছিল, দেন পুলিশ এগেইন দে রেডি টু ফায়ার। সো ডক্টর শামসুজ্জোহা উনি এই যে আমার দিকে তাকাবে একটু সবাই এই পাশে, যে এইভাবে দাঁড়িয়ে গেছেন স্টুডেন্টদের সামনে, পুলিশকে বলছেন ইয়েস ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু শুট শুট এট মি, আমাকে আগে গুলি করো, উইদাউট মি ওকে ইট ইজ নট পসিবল ফর ইউ টু শুট দ্য মাই স্টুডেন্ট বিলাভ স্টুডেন্ট। এবং পুলিশ দেখা গেল যে গুলি করতে উদ্যত হলো এবং গুলি করলো এবং সেই গুলিতে সে মারা যায়। When the voice of the killing of the Dr. Shamsujjoha heard by the student community and the whole country, then all classes people they came out from their house, from their office, from their educational institution, from their bank, from of them. Yes, now our only one demand, the resignation of Ayyub Khan. Without this we will not আমরা কোনো কিছুই মানবো। দেন আনকন্ডিশনাল রিলিজ অফ দ্য বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান, দ্য আগরতলা কনস্পিরেসি কেসেস প্রিজনার্স অ্যান্ড দ্য স্টুডেন্ট কমিউনিটি লিডার্স। এই যে এই ধরনের যখন একটা ম্যাস আপরাইজিং যখন শুরু হলো, দেন the main incident was happened, and that incident was in 1969. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, okay, Ayyub Khan, this is the man of Ayyub Khan, okay, unconditionally he given the release of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman on 22nd February 1969, 22nd February 1969 and 23rd February 1969 in a mass uprising, 1969 in Racecourse Field there was a warm reception is given to Sheikh Mujib, and there the Awami League leader Tufal Ahmed, then Chhatro League leader, he was Chhatro League leader, he given the title of Sheikh Mujib to Bangabandhu. তারপর থেকে শেখ মুজিবের সাথে নামের সাথে বঙ্গবন্ধু শব্দটা বসে যাচ্ছে। আমি আবারও বলছি 22nd ফেব্রুয়ারি বঙ্গবন্ধু আইয়ুব খান বঙ্গবন্ধু সহ আগরতলা কনস্পিরেসি কেসের যারা আসামি আছে তাদেরকে আনকন্ডিশনাল রিলিজ দিতে বাধ্য হয়েছে, এবং 23rd ফেব্রুয়ারি ছাত্র সংগ্রাম পরিষদ বঙ্গবন্ধুকে রেসকোর্স মাঠে একটা বিশাল বড় একটা ওয়ার্ম রিসেপশন দেয়, যে রিসেপশনে ছাত্র জনতার পক্ষ থেকে তুফায়েল আহমেদ, এখন আওয়ামী লীগের নেতা, ওই সময় ছাত্রলীগের নেতা ছিলেন, উনি শেখ মুজিবকে বঙ্গবন্ধু উপাধিতে ভূষিত করেন। নাও উই আর সেইং দ্যাট বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান, this is the title. And here what happened in Ayyub Khan, under pressure from PPP, that means Pakistan People's Party, public resentment and anger against his administration, mainly from East Pakistan, Ayyub resigned from the presidency in poor health. And March 25, Ayyub handed over powers to General Yahya Khan. অর্থাৎ Ayyub Khan 25 March, finding no other way, he resigned from his post and he handed his power to another army person, General Yahya Khan. Okay, this is the mass uprising of 1969. And now in your book, what is written? Look here. In January 1969, Chhatro League, Chhatro Union, and Jatiyo Chhatro Federation formed all-party Chhatro Sangram Parishad with a view to ousting General Ayyub Khan. Students started agitations program in favor of their 11 points alongside the 6 points of Awami League. The government started using police atrocity to suppress the agitation. On 20 January 1969, when the police opened indiscriminate fire on agitating students in Dhaka, Asaduzzaman, a student of Dhaka University, was killed, and this killing transformed the agitation into a mass uprising. On 15 February 1969, Sergeant Johurul Haq, an accused of the Agartala case, was shot dead inside the jail. Which is Sergeant Johurul Haqer photo আমি তোমাদেরকে দেখাইনি, okay? He was also the chief accused in he was one of the accused in Agartala conspiracy case, stayed in jail. Okay, during this he was also brutally killed by the Pakistan atrocities. Okay, then And Dr. Shamsud Juha, a Rajshahi University teacher, was brutally killed by the Pakistan army personnel on 16th February. At that moment, he was busy pacifying the agitated students. News of these killings lit the fire of discontent among the mass people. Failing to sustain the tides of the movement, the military-led government was compelled to withdraw the Agartala case and free all the accused unconditionally on 22nd February 1969. And finding no other way, the frightened General Ayub Khan resigned from the presidency on 25th March, and he handed over the presidency to General Yahya Khan. Thus, the students and the people obtained another success in their movement. এখানে কিন্তু বলা নাই, in 23rd February, the Chhatra Sangram Parishad, okay, they given the warm reception to Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and they given the title of Sheikh Mujib as Bangabandhu, okay, title of Bangabandhu to Sheikh Mujib. এটা মেনশন নাই, কিন্তু তারপরও ফর ইউর যেটাকে হচ্ছে ইতিহাস আরো ভালোভাবে জানার জন্য that information I am giving you. So this is up to 1969 mass uprising. Now if you have any questions from these two topics, historic Agartala case and the mass uprising of 1969, you can ask me question. If you have any doubt, okay, you can ask me questions. There are two important questions. One question is that why the Agartala case lost by Ayub Khan. Okay, this is a for 2 marks question. Why the Agartala case lost? This is another. And number 2, what do you know about the mass uprising of 1969? What do you know about the mass uprising of 1969? It is also another 2 marks questions. Okay, I repeat the 2 questions. One, why the Agartala conspiracy case lost? This is very, very important. I repeat, this is very, very important for 2 marks question. And another 2 marks question, what do you know about ঊনসত গণঅভ বা the mass uprising of 1969? The mass uprising of 1969. So if any problem regarding these 2 questions or 2 topics, you can ask me questions. Then I will start the third one. If you have any questions
about the
Agartala case, okay, it was made to stop the voice of Sheikh Mujib and 6-point demand. অর্থাৎ মানুষের দৃষ্টিটাকে অন্যদিকে ঘুরিয়ে নেওয়ার জন্য, 6 দফার দিকে যেন মানুষের অ্যাট্রাকশন যেন না থাকে, the West Pakistani made the case against the Sheikh Mujib and the others 34 persons, so that we East Pakistan people যেন এখন এটার বিষয়ে যেন নজর থাকে. And they given the excuse that yes, with the support of India, Sheikh Mujib want to make an independent country of East Pakistan, যেটা সংবিধানের সাথে টোটালি violated and টোটালি এটা একটা দেশদ্রোহী কাজ. So that's why they made the Agartala conspiracy case, and the name of the case was State versus Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. But ওই যে mass movement যখন শুরু হয় in the favor of 11-point movement and 6-point movement, then Ayub Khan government compelled to withdraw the case of Agartala conspiracy case and given unconditional release to Sheikh Mujib and other accused of Agartala case. Okay?
Sir, what is the mark of this question?
2 marks. The lesson 4 and lesson 5, the which question will come? This question will be for 2 marks. Okay, now any more doubt? Any more doubt? Okay, now let's start the third topic. This is the lesson 6, general election of 1960-70. The first general election, that means after the birth of Pakistan in 1947, there was provincial assembly election, but the general election was not held. What is the difference between the general election and provincial election? Can anybody say? Can anybody say what's the difference between the general election and provincial election? During that time of Pakistan, Pakistan was divided into 2 wings. One is East Pakistan, another West Pakistan. Provincial election is held on the make the government of the just only their province. Okay, they will continue their administration under the central government. And general election, it is held to elect the central administration. That means in general election, he will be the central prime minister of East and West Pakistan. মানে পাকিস্তানের prime minister হবে, যে দুইটা ইস্ট পাকিস্তানেরও এবং ওয়েস্ট পাকিস্তানেরও। আর যদি প্রভিন্সিয়াল ইলেকশনে যদি সাপোজ যে জিতবে, ধরো হি উইল বি দ্য চিফ মিনিস্টার অফ ইস্ট পাকিস্তান, অথবা he will be the chief minister of West Pakistan, not the central Pakistan. So after the birth of Pakistan, okay, there was no general election was held. There was no general election was held. So that's why it was very huge pressure that he has to made an general election. And when Ayub Khan resigned from his post, he handed over the power to Yahya Khan. This is the Yahya Khan, the then army general. Yahya Khan told that yes, definitely I will give an election. I will give an election, and that election will be free, fair, and credible. You can give your vote, cast your vote, and who will win that election, they will form the government, and I will resign from my post. The election দিয়ে central government এর হাতে ক্ষমতা দিয়ে আমি চলে যাব। Ayub Khan also told that when Ayub Khan occupied the power and introducing the martial law, he also told that yes, I will give an election, and that election এ যারা ক্ষমতায় আসবে তাদেরকে ক্ষমতা হ্যান্ড ওভার করে দিয়ে আমি পোস্ট থেকে চলে যাব। বাট আইয়ুব খান তার কথাটা রাখে নাই। সো দ্যাটস ওয়াই দ্য পিপল অফ ইস্ট পাকিস্তান দে ডিডন্ট বিলিভ দ্য ভয়েস অফ দ্য ইয়াহিয়া খান অলসো। বাট ইয়াহিয়া খান ওই ধরনের একটা ইলেকশন শিডিউল হি মেড দ্য ডিক্লারেশন, এবং তার ডিক্লারেশনটা ছিল যে ইলেকশন উইল বি হেল্ড অন দ্য অক্টোবর অফ 1970, অক্টোবর অফ 1970, যদিও পরবর্তীতে ইলেকশনটা গিয়ে ডিসেম্বরে হয়েছিল। And that elections, okay, Awami League and different political parties they joined. That means all of the political party of East Pakistan and West Pakistan, they joined the East Pakistan. Okay, Awami League, it was led by the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the Pakistan People's Party from West Pakistan, the famous political party, it was led by the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. It was led by the Zulfikar Ali Bhutto. Okay, so the main contestant, the political party, this is Awami League versus Pakistan People's Party. Pakistan People's Party. What was their manifesto in 1970? Awami League, National Awami Party. What was their manifesto? Their manifesto is that all announced it is 19-point election manifesto, যেটা আমরা দেখেছিলাম ইউনাইটেড ফ্রন্ট ইলেকশনের সময় 21 পয়েন্ট। এর বাইরে আওয়ামী লীগ যেটা ঘোষণা করলো ইন দ্য কম্বিনেশন অফ 6 পয়েন্ট এন্ড 11 পয়েন্ট প্রোগ্রাম। দ্যাট মিন্স আওয়ামী লীগ যে 6 দফা দিয়েছিল এবং স্টুডেন্ট কমিউনিটি যে 11 পয়েন্ট দিয়েছিল, this was the manifesto of Awami League. So that's why the East Pakistan people, they realized that yes, the manifesto of Awami League, it is the voice of East Pakistan. So that's why the East Pakistani people spontaneously they cast their vote to the symbol of Nauka. And this is the election campaigning program of 1970s election. এ তুফান পারি দিতে হবে পারি, এটা বিখ্যাত একটা কবিতা, কিন্তু নজরুলের একটা বিখ্যাত কবিতা, এ তুফান ভারী দিতে হবে পারি দিয়ে। দ্যাট মিনস এন্ড দ্য সিম্বল অফ, ওকে, দিস ইজ দ্য নৌকায় ভোট দিন, এই যে 11 দফা আর ওই দিক দিয়ে হচ্ছে 6 দফা টোটাল। দিস ওয়াজ দ্য ইলেকশন ম্যানিফেস্টো অফ আওয়ামী লীগ। এন্ড বঙ্গবন্ধু কি ভাষণ দিচ্ছেন অন ফেভার অফ 11 পয়েন্ট। এবং দেন দিস ইজ দ্য ডে অফ ইলেকশন। ওকে, বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান, তাজউদ্দিন আহমেদ এন্ড দা ওই যে বঙ্গবন্ধুর বাসায় মহিলা আওয়ামী লীগের নেত্রীরা রেডিওতে বসে, দে আর দ্য রেজাল্ট অফ দ্য 1970s election. They are the result of the 1970s election, because ওই সময় তো টেলিভিশন is not available. The টেলিভিশনের নির্বাচনের রেজাল্ট দিবে, তারা রেজাল্টটা নিতে যাবে, তারা রেডিওর মাধ্যমে তারা ইলেকশনের রেজাল্ট তারা জানার চেষ্টা করছে। এবং সবচেয়ে মজার ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যেটা, যে ওই ইলেকশনে অল অফ দ্য পলিটিক্যাল পার্টি জয়েন্ট ইস্ট আওয়ামী লীগের পক্ষ থেকে all the candidate, okay, given in the East Pakistan, এবং Pakistan People's Party, they didn't give any candidate in East Pakistan, because Pakistan People's Party, they are doing politics in favor of their West Pakistan, and East Pakistan Awami League, okay, that means the Bangabandhu's Awami League, they are giving all of the point in favor of the East Pakistan. So that's why Awami League kono candidate West Pakistan e dayni, abar West Pakistan kono candidate East Pakistan e dayni, Pakistan People's Party. So it is made clear that West Pakistan people didn't like to join with the East Pakistan people, okay, and the East Pakistan people, they didn't want to choice to join with the West Pakistan people. So that's why the election was held, and that election total the election seat was divided into East Pakistan side total 169, and in West Pakistan side it was 131 according to the majority of the people or voters. So the election what was held, Awami League got 166 and plus 7 reserve seat for women, that means 167 out of 169. And the Pakistan People's Party, okay, they got 81 and 4 for reserve seat for women, and another PM Qayyum 9 plus 1 another. Okay, it is not necessary, but necessary is that the first result in Awami League got the absolute majority 151%, 151 seat is necessary to succumb the got the majority. Awami League got 167, so that's why Awami League got the majority. That means the vote total 75%, 75.1% vote of the East Bengal, but that means East Pakistan got by the Awami League, আর বাকিগুলো অন্যরা পেয়েছে। তাহলে that means the East Pakistani people, they give their huge support in favor of Awami League, and Awami League got the majority in that election, and Awami League came to the power. But the West Pakistani, they didn't hand over the power to Awami League. They told that they made the delaying in the name of handing over the power. And this election is very significant in our liberation war because they didn't hand over the power. So that's why the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman given his historical speech of 7th March in 1971. And then after that, the 25th March midnight, the West Pakistan started the brutality in the name of Operation Searchlight, and the liberation war began. And in 1971, 16 December, with a huge bloody war, Bangladesh got an independence. Okay, this is the importance of 1970 elections. So what is given in your book? Look here. This is the general election result, but there was also provincial election, and that provincial election, okay, Awami League got 298 seats out of 310 in East Pakistan. অর্থাৎ ইস্ট পাকিস্তানে যে প্রভিন্সিয়াল ইলেকশন হয়েছিল, দ্যাট ইলেকশনে আওয়ামী লীগ 310টার মধ্যে 298টা সিট জিতেছিল। দ্যাট মিন্স absolute majority. But the West Pakistani, they didn't hand over the power to Awami League, so that's why the liberation was started. The liberation war 1970s result is the ultimate result of the liberation war. যদি ক্ষমতা দিয়ে দিত তাহলে হয়তো মুক্তিযুদ্ধের দিকে যেত না, তখন we can govern the central Pakistan. But the West Pakistani, they didn't want to lose the hand of the exploitation. So that's why they didn't hand over the power. So in your book, what is given? Look here. President Ayub Khan resigned from the presidency, handing over power to the army chief Yahya Khan. Soon after resuming power, Yahya Khan attempted to pacify Bangladesh. He pledged to hold a general election in 1970. The general election of Pakistan National Assembly was held on 7th December 1970. There were a total of 313 seats in parliament, of which 169 were allocated to East Pakistan and the rest of the West Pakistan. In the National Assembly, the main opponents were Awami League and Pakistan People's Party, PPP. So Awami League owned 167 seats in National Assembly, while PPP got 88. Mentionable, the Awami League got the majority in East Pakistan, while PPP got the majority in the West. Later on, 17 December of the same year, the provincial election was held. Awami League came out as the majority with 298 out of 300 seats of the provincial assembly of East Pakistan, and the rest of the seats went to independent candidates and other political parties. So this is the. So what is the 1970s election? The results of election in 1970 increased the pace of our movements towards liberation. Two different majorities in two separate wings of Pakistan proved Bangladesh is a separate nation, because Pakistan People's Party, they own in West Pakistan, Awami League own in East Pakistan. So East Pakistan peoples want to the liberation movement of East Pakistan, or West Pakistan tara separately thakbe. So the overwhelming victory obtained by Awami League reflected the cherished desire for recognition of our race as a separate identity since 1947. So the demand for autonomy was also validated in the mandate. The result altogether bade our farewell to the Pakistani rulers. At the same time, the Bengalis showed their acceptance of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib as their symbol of emancipation. যে এই ধরনের একটা কোশ্চেন আসতে পারে ইনভার্টেড কমা দিয়ে, how the 1970s election in the Bengalis showed their acceptance of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib as their symbol of emancipation. Explain. এই ধরনের একটা কোশ্চেন কিন্তু লাস্ট সেন্টেন্সটা দিয়ে কিন্তু থাকতে পারে 3 and 4 মার্কস এর জন্য। So there, from lesson 6, two important question. what was the result of 1970s election? This is the first. And second question is the what are the significance of the elections of 1970? Otoba how Bangabandhu, how the Bengalis showed their acceptance as Bangabandhu as their mark of symbol of emancipation. Clear? So if you have any doubt, now you can ask me questions from 1970s election. If you have any doubt.
Sir, can you say the questions again?
Yes, question is that 2 marks question. What was the result of 1970s election? 2 marks question. What was the result of 1970s election? And 3 and 4 marks question. What was the significance of the 1970s election? What is the significance of 1970s election? Othoba last sentence study. Explain the last statement. That means Bengalis showed their acceptance of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib as their symbol of emancipation. Explain this. Okay?
So what was the result of
What was the result of 1970s election?
1917?
70s election. Okay. So if you have any doubt or query, you can ask me question. Any question or any doubt?
Sir, this question is for how many marks?
How many words, Pani?
Means marks.
This is 2 marks. First one is 2 marks, and last one is for 3 and 4
Sir,
marks.
second question ta ki?
Second question was that what are the significance of 1970s election? What is the significance of 1970s election?
Na sir,
What are the
arekta chilo je.
Yes, sorry.
Arekta chilo je.
What is the result of 1970s election? একই তো জিনিস ওই আরেকটা লাস্টে যেটা ছিল the Bengalis showed their acceptance of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib as their symbol of emancipation. তোমাদের বইয়ের একবারে লাস্ট সেন্টেন্সটা 1970 ইলেকশনের the last sentence of your book, the topics of lesson 6.
Sir, what are the significant key?
Significant that in 1970s election it is proved that the East Pakistan